Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to another navigation task. We've got a beautiful Peak District day for this one. So what I want to know is, as usual, where was this photograph taken? And can you identify the feature circled in red there? We're using a Harvey map today. It's a Harvey Superwalker 1 to 25,000 scale. And I've got a license with Harvey Maps to use this extract. Now the purple line is a route, so I was on a run, so a little bit more help on this one. I was somewhere on that purple line when I took the photograph, and also the feature that's circled in red is somewhere on there too, but not necessarily on the purple line. So let's have a look at the photo in more detail. To start with, what can we see? Well, we're on a flat area. We've got, you see, in the sort of middle distance, we've got what you might call a horizon line. It looks like this flat area goes away from us, and then at this point here, maybe 300 meters or so, hard to judge the distance, but it looks like it drops away. And then over in the far distance, we've got some high ground, a higher horizon, high ground right to left as we look. And then we're looking for this little feature here. So if I just zoom in a little bit for you, we can see we've got a definite drop off there. So high ground dropping slightly to the left as we look, and then a steep drop down there. So that's the feature that we're actually looking for. So looking at the map, where can we be? Well, there's a lot of ground that we can rule out on this one. So we know we're on a flat high area. So if we look at the route, this to start with is deep in a valley, so that's not it. This is in a valley. This is on a steep uphill slope, steep uphill until we get to here. And then from here, this area across to where it says Horsestone is flat, all the way through Horsestones and Howden Edge, reasonably flat, all the way along here really to Shepherd's Meeting Stones, and then we drop down steeply again, and then from here onwards we're in a valley. So we know we're not in a valley, so we could be on this bit anywhere along here. And we're looking across to high ground in the distance. So could we be looking from here across to this high ground? Everything else isn't really steep or a drop down and then up in to high ground in the distance. So it's either that or looking across somewhere from this area over onto this higher ground here of Round Hill, Grindstones, Barrowstones, etc. So let's have a quick look. Remember, we're looking for flat ground with a steep drop on the left hand side. So this area here, Crowstones, doesn't have a steep drop on the left hand side. What about looking over? Could we be looking over and seeing a steep drop to the left hand side of Round Hill, or this drop off Grindstones? So that would put us over in this area here. So that's a possibility. Again, if we zoom in a little bit, we can see, I don't know if you can see in the photo here, we've got this high ground dropping slightly to the left, steep drop, but then you can just about make out this high ground in the foreground coming and dropping down, and we've got this long, just about see it possibly in the shadow there, a ridge in front of this high ground behind. So what we were actually looking at is this high ground here dropping slightly to the left as we're looking to Grindstones, and then that there is a steep drop, and then in front of it is Round Hill, slightly lower. See, this index contour comes round underneath Grindstones, so Grindstones is slightly higher than Round Hill. So this was the lower area in the foreground, and this was the ridge running along in the shadow, or not necessarily in the shadow, but we couldn't see it breaking the horizon because it's slightly lower. So that's that. So where does that put us? Well, the photograph taken over here somewhere, but where exactly? Well, for this area, this flatland of Round Hill to be in front of this area, we need to be over here somewhere. So the video was actually taken from this area here. And there's actually a big boulder called the Horse Stone. And I stood on top of that, looking southwestwards across this flat area. That's the horizon line that I talked about there, the first horizon line dropping down steeply into the valley and then up the other side, across Round Hill and onto the steep drop off of Griner Stones. So that was your answer there. Fantastic place to visit. It's not easy to get to. It's quite rough ground getting to it. There's no obvious paths to it, but it's well worth a visit if you can get out there. It's stunning. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got it right and learnt something from it. Thanks for watching, and as always, look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.